Hello, greetings, engineers. Welcome back to our survival playthrough on the Keen public servers. Somebody's been destroying our ships lately, so now they've got to go and weld up another one. This isn't going to be a full guide on how to do welding ship projections or anything like that. If you really want a good breakdown, I'm sure you can find some, but the trick behind a proper welding of a ship from a blueprint is to have the best blueprint to work from, and that typically means that whatever you are building is designed to be printed from a blueprint. Our mining ship is our only remaining support vehicle, so I just attached a spire of blocks to it and a projector. If you wanted to reuse this projection, you'd also want a couple of blocks after that projector so that the projector is not going to be attached to your new grid. Here I've got a welder with a small skirt of blocks around it to prevent blocks from being welded behind the welder. You can see the projector, and we're getting here aligned to the welding grid. Once this welder is turned on, we will be able to start to quote unquote pull the projection through this area. Only blocks that are able to be welded, such as ones having an attachment point to this projector, will be welded. So now we have a thruster and the jump drive, which are now attached to this projector and can be welded once that block itself has also cleared the projection area. Sometimes it helps having a spotter to help make sure you are aligned to everything, or you could use the third person point of view. Once you get your ship aligned and your projection online, you can go turn your welder array on, make sure you have all the appropriate parts available, and allow the welder to start to do its work. As it continues to weld up a little bit, pull your projection out just enough for that welder to start reaching those blocks and allow enough time for it to weld up everything. On the public servers, we only have access to 5 welders at a time, so projector walls are extremely limited. The optimal spacing for welders is about every other block, and that way they can get good coverage. They don't have exceptional range. Here we have to clear our blocks from that skirt area to allow it to be welded. Welders come in handy for blocks such as jump drives and batteries that have a lot of large components. That way the welder can deposit all of those components into your block pretty instantaneously. Here you just go back and forth in a grid-like pattern to pull the projection through, making sure that all the internal components are welded one at a time. Again, you want to make sure that you are working off of a good blueprint to make this process easy. Otherwise, you will have to cut into the ship and hand weld pieces that are not fully completed. For example, a gyroscope only has one point of contact, and if that point of contact is not welded before the gyroscope, and the gyroscope is outside of the range of the welder, once that block is able to be welded, the gyroscope will not complete or even start. This will make you have to grind back into your ship and weld the gyroscope by hand, which can be a painstaking and laborious process. Mellow greetings, engineers. Welcome back to our survival playthrough on the public servers. We are continuing our build on our capital ship. We've gotten quite a ways from where we started before, just having a simple frame, some of which is still quite visible. Got a lot of the outer plating going on, and a good deal of color change has happened, so it looks like the plastic armor was applied to most of the hull, as opposed to the original war-torn armor. So that's happened. I see some additional change up there in the forward hull. That's new. And we'll go ahead and continue our development of the internal structures. So far we've got that cargo bay area set up and our medical room, 2 areas that we use very frequently. I expect the top of the ship to change and a lot more to change inside. So let's go ahead and get to it. So one more thing that I had noticed as well with the general ship layout that I have, this floor, we'll go ahead and turn our lights on. This floor right here is made out of steel plate. And elsewhere in our grand hallway, we were using angled wall A's and B's and stuff. So this is our hallway, and this is different than our floor that's up there, which is fine. However, this whole area that's welded up is actually that bridge and that conference room up there. So I had to do some compromises in the design down here because the hallway's got to come through. And that's just something that I'll have to deal with as part of this design. So back here is where the hallway is, and I can hide this and change the bridge around just a bit because I've got some space to do it. But that's something else I need to keep in mind with this structure. I hadn't really considered the elevation changes too much, but that was something I had noticed in a previous large ship that I was doing, a Behemoth battlecruiser. We'll work around it. We'll figure out what we want, just so we can keep the grand scope of things in here being a block and a half height. So let's walk down this way. If we continue to avoid this area, so this is our conference room area here, we can keep this hallway where it is. If need be, the hallway can kind of scoot over, but I like how I've got a four-way junction here. I'd rather not it be shifted over one. So I think that's a good position there, and I'll just deal with a smaller conference room where I can make it something else up there. So this hallway has to continue forward, and it's about at the position. This right here should be our line that comes through. That's the back end of the bridge common wall. So that's a good stopping place for it here, which means anything that goes here, I could do another one of these cross-member beams going across, and then that leaves all of this front area for whatever I need it to be. And I'll have to mirror, it looks like some of it was already mirrored down there, but we can mirror this whole piece out as we frame up what's going to be in this engineering section. So I don't think I'll need a beam going through here necessarily, maybe just visually and to keep some lighting going on. But I want to extend this hallway forward just a bit further so that we can close off the engineering compartment successfully. I won't want these here, which means this line is going to be wall. So that gives me some space to work with in here. I think that's plenty of space. So this is all going to be wall coming through here. And I guess we need to get some plate and start laying some more things out. Actually, what do we want? We want to drop those down, and if this is... we'll break the conveyor tubes. These can go... Those are just kind of sitting there as is for now. I like this swoop going up, but wherever else it connects to, I haven't established yet. And since I want this floor to come through, I will break this junction, and we'll continue to draw it through. So that way, our hallway will go through. And if this is going to be the wall for engineering, let's go up here. Let's see. It's going to be precisely this pipeworks here. So if we take wall color, we can actually use the same wall construction here, just so it looks like a paneling or something. Put a couple of those guys in there, and then I can put the sci-fi one, so I just have lights coming down. Start with this maybe, and then we'll do a sequence of lights, or we start with the one, and then rotate it so we have the door-looking one. And then we can get back here for another two. That should look good. And then we can go back to those other panels with the angled wall. Or we could even use this pipeworks here. Actually, in here, it would be acceptable to put pipeworks and stuff going around. We just don't have any way of like rotating the pipes, so that's straight through pipes, and then there's no other things in there, and this is also straight through pipes. So I don't have an elbow or junction or anything. It would just be exposed in one area. So I could potentially do that below here, if this is going to be an in-between deck area. That way it looks like things are being piped throughout. I think that'll be good. So that looks good there. Let's weld up this. If I want this piping to go somewhere, let's pull some of this guy first. That way I can just block out the things before I start trying to reposition all of my interior tubings. And we probably need another overhead beam. I like this because it looks like the ship has extra structure that these beams are affording us. And we've kind of established visually that we've got some running down, I guess you could say, the length and the width of the ship.
So it's just a matter of where do we want another beam going across. Let's turn my lights off. And these are just the internal lights. And that's where I was getting a lot of the internal lighting from, was from these. So let's go forward till it gets dark, which is why I was thinking around here somewhere. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had one, which would mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means we could have here that drop down cross member beam. But I would like to kind of incorporate the conveyor junction into it as well. This is still visually inside the engineering section, and I can't really go up. I mean, I could put some sort of paneling in there. I wouldn't have space for the lights, though, because the conveyor junctions would take up the full width. Down is a more obvious answer, and that's probably where I'll have to go with as far as those junctions are. That's probably what they'll have to be. This did not have any lights on it, but I do need lights in here. And is this connected? That's connected to that beam member, but it's about where I want this light to go anyways. Was this number 5? Let's count again. So we could put this one in here. So we haven't had cross-haul lights yet, only vertically running ones. Yeah, because this one's, I guess, going, the beam of the ship is the forward and back. So this is not the beam. This is a cross member. Do I want one on the side there? And that way it could indicate that it's on the right side. I think that's what I was wanting before, as far as the idea of what goes where. So I'll take that. And then we want... Actually, that's not bad there. You can go there. We'll just put that in. That way you have a light, and this one's on the left side since it's the left side of the ship. I think that's what kind of internal visual cue I want for it. So that should be good. So let's get these guys welded up. So let's go ahead, Shift-I. Let's turn our antenna on, Shift-I. And then we can talk to the lights. Then I can add that into the interior group. And then we can fidget these so that they're all about the same, and it should brighten up that area a lot. And my suit lights are off, so this is the lighting that we're going to get coming through here. So that hall, I think 5 is a good space for what these are. They're set to 20-meter radius spread, and each... Those are different colors. I bet I pulled off of something that was different. Let's keep that the same. Otherwise, we're going to have weird stuff all over the place in our ship. Yeah, slightly off. Okay. So 5 seems about right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each of these is supposed to be 2.5-meter blocks as the large grid cubes. So a pair of them is 5. And then that's 10, 2.5, so it's 12.5. We want some overlap on there. So this does seem good, keeping with that maximum spread for the lights there. So that looks good for this hallway. And then we can close it off coming down this side too, using more of our same sci-fi lights and whatnot. So we'll keep that as is. And then we can build sci-fi lights coming down this way. Go 1, and then rotate the door. Then we can hop back to our pipeworks or angled interior walls, because this looks pretty neat. And that'll bring us to the end there. And then on this side, we've got nothing up top, so let's just use this. That'll give us a bracing point. All of this is wall, so let's take down this and this for supports. That way we have a couple little pieces of support up there. And then we can drag our wall coming through, because it'll be on the same side for the engineering section, which will be fine as well. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll just build this out with... Let's recycle through here. Ooh, this is the engineering side. It's going to need... I can't do this particular piece here. Or can I? I think here is far enough. So I can do this particular piece as flipped over there, because it shouldn't be visible. But the rest of them, coming down here, like these lights, whatever I see in the hall, I'll have the other half in the engineering section. So there's going to be a lot of the, I guess, the door pieces over there. I guess that'll be okay. And then what are you? You're nothing there. I'm going to need 2 more of this pipeworks. I might even rotate that pipework so that I've got some of this gray paneling stuff on the other side, because this looks kind of awkward, honestly. We can grab this. Probably going to drop pipes everywhere. Nope, we're good. And you are pipeworks B. Pipeworks B. Small A. Pipeworks B. So I don't want the actual pipes. I had this here, and that's not what I want, because that's on the other side. And that looks like a face. It's kind of disturbing now that I see it. So if you go there, this will be fine. Unfortunately, I cannot mirror that. That can go there. So now I need both of these to look decent. Could do pipes going up and down. That might be promising. It also gives me something to work with out there. I can put these guys here for pipes. This probably be brought down. This can come down here. I'll just have pipes. This is B. Where's A? A looks a little more involved. I should put that on the ground floor, maybe. I'll adjust the pipeworks A and B, whichever need be where, to make it look more interesting, wherever I decide to put a catwalk or another floor in. Because currently, that's the different one, and that's on this floor, which will probably get a graded catwalk going down it. That should be good. This needs to get removed. This is my floor up here. I'll need to do something to hide this. I'll have to probably put some plates or something. Just the steel panel plates to cover that up. Because my hallway, I can't mess with it. And then what's back here? So this is not going to be seen. I'm probably better off putting another jump drive in there, honestly. It's a space of 4. Yeah, I'm better off putting another jump drive in here because that's not going to be in the visual range. And it's off anyways. So let's do that. That establishes floor plate coming forward for us. And where our, I guess this is our upper access. So we'll have to go down. Let's put, just for right now, let me use cylinders because I know I want them gone. I have that come out so that we can have a bit of space. And then we can, let's put a ladder. Ladder will give us ramps. Or stairs. Where does that set us? Right on the floor. Excellent. So that's exactly where I want that to be. Perfect. So we can get easy access down. That just happened to luck out on all that. How much space I had, where things are sitting, because this is actually the outer hull down here. And it just happens to sit there very nicely. I lucked into that one for sure. So that stairs, they aren't going to stay there. I guess it's not really diamond plate on there, but it kind of looks that way. That is what I want there. And then we can switch to a different kind of interior floor. We could even do this angled interior here, if that's what we're going to run across. That's not the worst. This will run into... Oops. Whoa. Bad rubber banding. That'll run this way, and that'll kind of block us off. So I think that's in a good place. At least visually. And if I need to, you know, we'll have whatever else we can walk around and do maintenance on the engine up here. So that should be okay. Down here, we'll have this, which kind of echoes the ceiling. That should be fine. And what about going down this way? I mean, I could flip these over and only have the half height, but it doesn't really matter. Because this is similar, but not the same for the half heights. I'll leave it as is for now. Because then I want, like, a graded catwalk. I would put on a double rail. So I should be able just to slap these guys down here, no problem. And they'll have that extra attachment point. That can run the length here. Where do I want this to end? Definitely no further than this. Elbow. And we can go back to the double-sided. That way it goes behind the tube there. And this wall piece will be like the front wall, the engineering section. Nothing else beyond that at this level. And that kind of tells me, too, as I build that up, that when this hallway comes out another little bit, I will have space up here for whatever else I need. Because I will want... what else do I need? Well, I need to put crew quarters in places. I can kind of shove them in the hallways. These little dead spaces I have, I can put crew quarters in there. Need a mess hall so folks can eat. Got my sick bay. I want a transporter bay. Maybe that's just the end of the wall there. I think that's probably the best way to do it. This is just the end. I can put computers or something in the wall if I want, but this will just be the end of it. And that way I don't have that much extra moving around. I just have dead space back there. I think that's probably what we'll do. Not worried about those jump drives. Those would just be out of visual range. I think the 2 there should be fine. Let's put... Actually can use... that. Because it looks interesting. I think maybe even a computer or something right here would be good. I'll put this in for now. We can put more decorative blocks, like a computer like this, how the emotional controller looks like it's a computer. We could set that in here too, perhaps. That should be good. And we've got the railing through here. This will need railing on top of it, I believe. And that way you're just not falling off the side. That would also allow us, we could pull railing this way and this way. That way we can get around. Let's do that. That way you can do maintenance on both parts of it. I don't think that's entirely wrong. I guess I should take a closer look at some internals of actual ship designs. Oh, well, if that pulls all the way through, it does. This could just be a loop. But you can do a loop on the entire half. That works out. Let's get an elbow. The way this upper deck area is okay. Some point in here it needs to go below. Probably... Where's the best part for it to go below? It goes here. Maybe if you come across and then down is the best part for it to go below. Or if you come forward and then you go left, right for it to go down. That way you can, I don't know. If I came in, I think just turning the once should be good. So let's get rid of this. Let's see where we sit. I want the stairs to come down. They would occupy this space. And we're already blocking this off as our wall anyways. So that should be fine. You can go this way. And then I want a ramp. There we go, ladder. Ladder ramp. This catwalk doesn't go there. You get plates. You get flat plates. We'll get the ceiling color. So you get a flat plate coming over, which occupies that space. Occupies all these spaces coming through. I might do something else there, depending on what these are above. But we need this to be gone too. And I guess you're adjacent, buddy. Gone. Because we need to cover up our hallway from above. Then this is gone too. But we can just flip those catwalks over, and then that should be okay. Yeah, we can work with that. We don't want a handrail, we just want the flat one. And instead of going in that cube, it goes in this one where I have where I have that pseudo handrail in place. And then this, of course, it's not going to like to sit there. I can fix this. I can fix this. I can fix all of this. You're not going to go there because I don't want that slopey bit. You're going to get some more diamond plate. More diamond plate over there might be fine too. Oh, ran out of energy. Get rid of that fake handrail. Get rid of this because it'll probably get in my way too. Same thing with you. And you. It was a good idea. I like it, but I'm too tight spaced over here. Alternatively, I could just use 2 blocks of stairs to get up and down, which would include its own handrail. I'll do that. That'll just be easier to work with. I need a flat rating. You go there and there. And then because we've changed this now, these two spaces are actually free for some handrails wherever we're at in the handrail. I can see it. There we go. Like so. So you won't actually sit there by yourself, but what I can do is put another handrail up. Because you don't think there's an attachment point. So if I put a handrail there, it'll be a double handrail. No, you're... This is also steel plate occupying that space, so I can't... What to do? That back is just a wall. I don't care what goes there. I can adjust that if necessary. I do want catwalk coming through. I can't do catwalk on here because I've got this plate overhead. Unless, let's go and look at corridors. Corridors, that's not corridors. So I could put this suspended. You'd be walking on wires or something. No, because it's supposed to hide up there. Oh, what if it's sideways? Sideways could work. That way it blocks the top and the bottom, and you can walk. I don't really want one with a light. That's fine. I could use this L shape. No, because I need just a U shape. That could work. Let's take you down. If you were a passageway, you could sit right there. It'd still allow me able to pass through. And that doesn't present a visual problem either, I don't think. I think it'll be awkward to walk through, it looks like. Well, let's see what happens if we weld these guys up. Are you not going to allow me in there? Oh. We could crawl. That's not what I want. I don't want to have to crawl to get through there. I mean, it's not the worst. But it does stop me from walking that way. Ooh, probably need to do the same thing over here then. Because I've got another 2 blocks. Whatever I do on the one side, I have to do on the other because of my ceiling being an issue. So let's solve that problem before we advance. I really don't want to walk or crouch to walk through. Just have to deal with that. This is what I was talking about earlier when I didn't really think about how things crossed over each other. So with the hallway crossing my engineering space, I've enforced a hard ceiling because the ceiling or the floor texture I'm using doesn't jive with what I want for ceilings, and it makes this shape as opposed to the inverse of it, which I'm using for hallways. Otherwise, it might have actually worked, but that's the design I'm going with. Let's turn our lights off. How much lighting we have? Not nearly enough. So we obviously have no lights coming through here. That is something that we will need. That... I mean, this can continue being our ceiling. How much space do we really need here? The 1? I'd almost like it to come up. We use these same angled A walls again. We can get ourselves a half wall higher coming through here. Or we could put these going this way. If these go this way, we'll have a cross-member beam. Where is our cross-member, our pseudo beam at least? The pseudo beam is up there. So if we, I guess, simulated that beam coming through here, and my lights are off. So this is appropriately illuminated over here. There's going to be a wall here. I need some other kind of light source through here that probably have this engine set piece be the light source itself, because I kind of wanted vents or something to be lit in here. We'll see how that looks. Yeah, because I want, that's a low beam. I don't want it to stay low this whole way. I want it to go up just a little bit so you could potentially work on this above. You had to crawl over it or something. So let's do... I use those angled blocks. So the question is, where do I want this to open up to for that half block that I want? With a beam coming across, I could open it up this way, which I think would be good. It hides what I have behind there and gives me something to look at. Same over here. And the rest of this can just be half plates. So for cheap and light, we'll use the middle plate, which seals this area off. And I hide that gravity generator up there. That's fine, because that's not a floor. It is a floor. I can always come back and adjust that. Actually, I can adjust this now, since I'm thinking of it, because I could put another small door or something up there. I want the half plates. I need to grind this guy down. That way it's good there. And so this is that primary hallway coming through, and I can just have another small door. I can have all sorts of things in here, really. So I'll mess with that ceiling as I need to. Because I could put, crew quarters or bathrooms or whatever I need. This is just free space. As long as I keep it short. Do this here and here. And I can just put a catwalk or something underneath. I could still run that way. That could work here. Let's try... This is more acceptable. I'll take it. Again, take it for now. I'll decide to change something. These are already upside down. So they would fix the same problem. I mean, it's unnecessary, but... At least I hide the top a little bit better. Not by much, but it's a little better. I almost want another beam coming across down this engine line. It's going to break up what I've done so far. So if I've got this beam coming across, where are we here? So this is in the middle. This could be another beam that I run through. Another opportunity for a light. It's fine. We can run the beam down in here. And now we definitely have to cut that conveyoring. I could shove it outside through there. Could. Well, this is already fine. That's a design element coming up. Down can come through here. It could come through here. Yeah, because I've got floor here, and it could just be a pipe right above. Put that conveyor here. Let's go for industrial tubes. There. These guys can go that way. I think that'll be okay if it's an awkward junction. I can cap the ends. This is beyond the wall. Beyond the wall, it doesn't matter, so I will do some lightweight tubes. And then from here, we need to go up. What are you, outside? You are indeed outside. You were. We need to go up and over, up and over, up, over. There we go. Now we've got our network reattached. Okay, that's coming together really nicely. I like this column here. I'll pull this wall down. I could put... This can either go here. I like looking up through that railing, so I want to keep that as is. So I can either put these guys here, which is counter to what I have, so I don't want to do that. I want them to only go one way in a room. Unless I put computers or something in there, I think that'll be what goes there. These have to stay as they are. Although I like the footplate up top, I don't like this. Because if I'm going to do this, I might as well do it all the way down, which means I can get rid of these guys, which means I get rid of some of the other visual problems I'm having through here. Absorb you. That's the one. I think that's all we're going to have time for at the moment, but we did get a fair bit of this engineering space blocked off. Caps lock. We'll slow roll through here. This is looking finalized. Just closing in the space makes it look more complete, even if there's nothing in there yet. We've got our downstairs area still. We'll go upstairs, and that's above where we just were. And as we backtrack towards our medical room, The ship interior is slowly coming along. I'm liking this quite a bit. So until next time, go forth and build great things. See you then.